Hey there, what's going on? I'm Darieth Chisholm and welcome to Hustle and Heart TV, and I am on stage at the Improv. No, not here to do comedy. You guys know that I am no comedian. I'd rather stick with this video podcast show. But I am here interviewing Matt Light, who is a comedian in the Pittsburgh area, and I can't wait to share his story with you. Matt really decided and declared in a moment of challenge that he would become a comedian. As he was facing cancer, he still got on stage and shared his life story and made people laugh. His story, which is so inspiring, up next on Hustle and Heart TV. Like so many entrepreneurs, I'm drawn to the glamorous, gorgeous, larger-than-life, iconic ideas and outcomes that represent success. I'm amazed at just what it takes to truly be a standout, a rock star, a millionaire, a trendsetter. It ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. So why not you? I know it takes hard work and hustle to make things happen, but I also believe it's a matter of heart. We can manifest our greatest desires with a little less sweat equity and a little more divine guidance. Plus, be equally inspired by someone else's life story. I'm Darieth Chisholm. I'm here to help you unleash, unlock, and bloom your dreams in business and in life. I'm a speaker, author, entrepreneur, life and business coach, media personality, and a video podcast host. Every week, my team and I uncover dynamic, authentic, heartfelt conversations to help you leverage tools and resources, make more money, live the lifestyle of your dreams, become a rock star, and love your journey. Comedian Matt Light on Hustle and Heart TV. All right.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited about having you on the show. And we're at the Improv.
Yeah, they're probably sick of me by now.
No way, I'm sure. Oh, that's great. You have been so very fortunate to be able to have your own show here at the Improv in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they actually gave me a monthly show called Lights Out. It's pretty fun. We do it usually every third or fourth Thursday of the month, so it's a good time. We get a good turnout. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever dream that you'd be, headlining here at the Improv?
Nope, I didn't even think I would be opening up for anybody. It's pretty awesome. I got into it pretty much because I wasn't good at anything else in high school. I was the class clown, and they're like, well, maybe you should just stick to that. And it worked.
Class clown pays.
Yeah, right?
How about that? Yeah. But seriously, this business of comedy for you has really taken you full circle. I mean, and at some point, facing some pretty significant health challenges and being diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah. I was diagnosed, I believe it was July of 2013. I was actually hosting an open mic when I found out. I was hosting an open mic, and then right after that, I got a call from my doctor, and he said, yeah, we saw your test results, and they didn't look so good. We think you have cancer. So I had to still finish the show, knowing that I was just diagnosed with cancer over the phone, which was insane to me. So I just was like, all right, I gotta go. So then I hung up, and I told one of the other guys, hey, take over for me. I gotta go home. Called my family. Long story short, fast forward, 6 months later, in remission, cancer-free.
Wow, but in that time, I mean, I know you want to fast forward it, and thank goodness, and you're here, and that, how you have survived it, but 6 months of fighting cancer and pretty significant stage 3, right?
Yeah, it's stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, which it's crazy because there's not many signs that you really have. Like, I had night sweats, and I had a hard time sleeping, but like everything I looked up, because when you're sick, you look something up online, you never assume it's that bad, and I was like, I don't know what it is. But then I ended up losing a lot of weight within a month, or actually 2 months. I lost about 50 pounds, which I thought it was because I was eating better. And like, I look back at it, it's kind of funny now, because like my friends were like, oh, you look great, whatever you're doing, keep it up. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then you find out it's that, and you're like, maybe I don't want to keep it up, Yeah. So, yeah, wow. It was rough.
Yeah, and pretty significant rounds of chemo too.
Yeah, the chemo's so aggressive. It messes with you mentally. You're tired. You don't want to do anything. And as you can tell, I'm a bigger guy, so I like to eat a lot. And it's really hard when you go through chemo because everything tastes like a metalish. You know, you have no appetite, and it's hard to keep things down. So it was rough.
But you battled through.
I did.
And 6 months later, you battled through so much so that you had some clarity about what you want to do in life.
Right.
And you determined, that's it, I'm going to make this comedy thing happen.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Well, it was crazy because right before I was diagnosed, you know, I worked the regular 9-to-5 sales job, and I made really good money. But when you get sick and you don't know how much time you have, you kind of put things in perspective where, you know, what do I really want to do with my life? You know what I mean? What makes me happy? And I didn't know how much time I had left. So I just said, you know what? I've been doing comedy for a few years. I was like, if I'm going down swinging. I'm going for this. And, you know, I worked really hard at doing stand-up. I would go to open mics. I would go to open mics with like a surgical mask because I couldn't be around anybody. Right before I'd go on stage, I would take it off, I would perform, and I would leave instantly.
Wow.
You know, and I would do this for 6 months straight until I knew that, you know, we're going to get through this one way or another.
Was that your therapy?
Comedy? I think so, you
Yeah.
know, because with stand-up and anything in comedy, a lot of it comes from tragedy, you know, and nobody in my family really ever had cancer, so I didn't have anybody to talk to. So what I did was I just made jokes about it, and I wrote about it. It was my way of venting my frustration, but also putting smiles on other people's faces, saying, you know, if you think your life sucks, check this out, you know what I mean? But I'm okay, and I'm happy, and I'll be fine, you know what I mean? So.
Wow. Well, you had that to turn to get you through a very tumultuous time in your life. And I think what's equally amazing about this is that, you know, you decided in that moment that you were going to stand for what you believed in, and that was about you going out and hustling to become
sure.
a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's the definition of hustling, you know, just, you got nothing, you know, you just go for it all, and when your back's against the wall, and the odds aren't on your side, you know, but we won, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you're cancer-free.
Cancer-free since January 2014.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you look well, and you look strong and healthy.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me about this, though. So you make this decision, and you decide, I'm going to be a comedian, and like, did the acts to start, or opportunities to get on stage start falling out of the woodwork, or did you have to go out and make it happen and find gigs to be a part of?
It was a little bit of both, actually. For me, you know, I've been doing it for years before this, you know, but this kind of really changed my material. I became more relatable. Like I kind of was more aggressive on stage and kind of like a how you'd say it, like an insult comic, you know what I mean? But then I started to talk about real life things that everybody can relate to, you know. People are like, I like him, I like his perspective, his point of view, you know. But I also was getting other opportunities because of what happened, you know. So it's kind of hard mentally to balance that, because any success you get afterwards, you're wondering, well, is this just sympathy, or am I actually, you know, that funny?
But so I guess what you're saying then is the opportunities did start to avail themselves. Yeah.
And the thing is I mean, you know, I may have gotten the opportunity because of that, but it's what you do with it. Mm-hmm. You know, and once I did really well, people were like, yeah, we even forgot you had cancer. You know what I mean? We want to see you back and back and back. So I don't even really talk about that during my set anymore, you know, because it's kind of past me, but, you know.
Yeah, you've lived through it, and that was it. But I would imagine that there would be people in the audience who identified when you had the opportunity to share with them your experience, because you know, cancer obviously touches so many people.
Oh, yeah. And that was what kind of scared me at first, because when you talk about cancer, you know that everybody in the audience, one way or another, knows somebody that was affected. So for me, my issue was, before I talked about it, I was like, well, how do I do this in a way that it's likable and it doesn't hurt other people's feelings? Because cancer is so broad, but at the same time, it's got to be about me, that I own it. So I would talk about it on stage, and honestly, the coolest thing that, you know, that comes out of comedy is compliments, you know? But like, the best compliment I would get is after a show, somebody would come up to me that was diagnosed, and they'd say, hey, you know, I battled this for X amount of years. People are afraid to talk about this. Thank you. You know, I needed this. It makes me feel better and more positive. And if you're doing this, you know, why the hell am I doing my 9 to 5? I should be going out doing what I want. And it's crazy. I talked to somebody who actually said, because of you, I'm quitting my job. He bought a van, and now he just travels across the country.
Isn't that something to be able to motivate people to go after their dreams and live what it is they're dreaming about?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's the greatest feeling in the world to know that somebody else is just going for what they want, you know what I mean? And that you can achieve it, you just have to do it, you know? You just put in the time and you'll be able to make it, you know?
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason, too, with this show and Hustle and Heart is that we get the opportunity to encourage people to do that.
Yeah.
And it's stories like yours that, you know, obviously open people up to, well, gee, if he's facing cancer and he's working through it,
Right.
Bald and losing hair and in
yeah.
pain, and
You know-
going after his dream, I can go out here and make it happen, too.
That was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, like you said, with the hair thing, I honestly had no eyebrows. Now I have two big bushy Italian ones. You know what I mean? The hair, I looked like a glowworm almost. Like, it was bad. And I had to address it because people are like, well, what is wrong with him, you know? But, you know, if you can do that, then I think you're okay. You know?
Yeah. Well, listen, you've got tons of material. I want to talk about how you write your material, what inspires you, maybe some ups and downs and some challenges. And for anybody out there who has ever thought about being a comedian, you got to tell us whether it's the road we should be traveling or not. So we'll dig into that in a minute.
Okay.
Are you interested in learning more about podcasting and video podcasting and how you can build your brand, influence, and income through podcasting? I'd be happy to help. In fact, you can schedule a complimentary discovery session with me. Really simple. Just go to podcastingandyou.com. Leave me your name and your email. You might want to check out one of my upcoming trainings as well, or simply send me an email at info@dariethchisholm.com, and we'll get some time scheduled to discover how podcasting can help you grow your business and your brand. The success in selling your home and getting the right price lies in the crux of your agent's ability to maximize your home's exposure to the largest number of qualified buyers. Each year, Dion Malish helps a family buy or sell a home every 5.5 days, so she's confident that her proven home selling strategies will sell your home. Dion and her team are not your traditional real estate agents. Unlike many agents who pound a yard sign, post to the MLS, then sit back and wait for your home to sell itself, Dion uses a proven, repeatable system to sell your home for up to 18% more in less time. Dion recently published 25 tips for selling a home in Pittsburgh, which is also available on Amazon. If you're thinking of selling your home, you can get a free copy by visiting www.25tipspittsburgh.com. You can also contact her at 724-554-3514 or email her at dion@northwood.com.
The award-winning Savoy restaurant has become synonymous with fine dining, upscale ambiance, and a great destination for local and national celebrities to enjoy the night in style. The Savoy has won multiple Savor Pittsburgh awards for its delicious menu. Our wine list was awarded Wine Spectator's 2012 Award of Excellence, and the Savoy has also won the American Institute of Architects' People's Choice Award for its beautiful architecture and design. For dinner reservations and more info, log on to savoypgh.com.
Hi, I'm Bill Peduto, the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, and you're watching Hustle and Heart TV with Darieth Chisholm.
Matt, we're sitting here obviously in the Improv, and I mean, I'm looking around and I'm looking at some of the photos of the comedians who have graced this stage.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Like, these are giants in the industry.
I shouldn't be here. No, it's crazy. I mean, like, to see that, you know, all the top guys, one way or another, have performed on the same stage that, you know, I'm fortunate to. It's unreal, and I try not to think about it because I feel like I'll just freeze in the lights. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's amazing. It's a dream come true, you know?
Yeah, I bet, because it has to feel awesome when you're standing there night after night.
Yeah. Until you tell a bad joke.
Yeah, right. And then all of a sudden it's,
Yeah, it's like, I'll
crickets.
leave.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm out the door. How do you come up with your material?
You have to have a horrible life and just talk about the bad things that go on. No, I don't know, like, I just talk about, you know, previous jobs that I worked at, things I didn't like about my jobs. I do talk about the cancer situation. You know, I talk about growing up in Pittsburgh, you know, things that everyone have, you know, what they've gone through, you know what I mean? Things that people can relate to. And then, like I said, I'll jab at the audience a little bit and have fun with them and interact with them. Because I don't want it to just be a stand-up show. I want you to come here and be like, all my problems that I have at home, I'm forgetting about them. We're going out, we're going to have a good time. So I use the crowd probably more than, most guys do in Pittsburgh, just because I want them to have a show, not just stand-up. I want them to enjoy themselves.
But that has to be very impromptu. You don't know who's going to be in the audience and what. I mean, so is it like literally you see something and you're like, pick on that guy or pick on this girl? And
a little bit.
so you've got to really be thinking off the cuff.
Yeah, a lot of it comes off the top of my head. But what I'll do is I'll scan the audience before I walk down the aisle. And I'll be like, oh, this guy's dressed up, with like a t-shirt and a ball cap, and like his girl's wearing like a $300 dress, and it doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay, I'll go after this guy, But the thing is, the biggest boundary for me is to know when and when not to go after them, because there's some guys that take it so personal, but they still insist on sitting in the front row. So that's kind of where you draw the line, but
Yeah, I always say, don't sit in the front row unless you want to be picked on.
Right, you know what I mean? You know where you're at, you're not here to see Adele, you're here to see the comedy show, so.
Yeah, but outside of that, so you're really inspired by even the negative things that you had to face in life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You laugh at them.
Yeah, because if you can't poke fun at that, then, you're going to be miserable about it.
Yeah, maybe there's something to be said about teaching us to do the same thing with our challenges in life, right? To learn to just laugh at them.
Yeah, because you've already gone through the pain, you know what I mean? At least bring out something positive out of it, Because you're going to think about it all the time. It's just more so, how do you think about it? Like, oh my God, how did I put myself in that situation? You know what I mean? So you just laugh at it.
That's really cool. Do you ever get challenged on stage, like where you say to yourself, I just lost it, or do you just know how to maneuver in and out and you're comfortable?
For me, I know within the first joke. Usually your first joke is supposed to be one of your strongest jokes, and if that one doesn't hit, then I'm like, this is not my crowd tonight. This is something that I'm going to be in trouble for, I can just tell. When that happens, I try not to lose confidence. You got to stay confident because you have to own that stage. If they know you're scared, they're not going to like you. So I try so hard to get that first joke good, but if that doesn't work, then I know, all right, well, let me talk to the audience more. Let me see what they like. You know what I mean?
How do you own the stage? That's a great metaphor in life. Owning the stage. What does it take to own the stage?
Well, for a lot of people, it's you're a salesman. You're selling your product. You want people to know that you're the expert, and that whatever your material is funny or not, if you sell it in a way that this is funny and you laugh at yourself and you take away being serious and just joking, people are like, okay, I like him. I may not think his material's great, but at least he's a guy that I'd go out and have a few drinks with. He's a goofball. You got to be likable, with everything, Anyone who's a narcissistic or whatever, no one's going to like you here because everyone's going to be like, yeah, whatever, so.
Yeah, and that applies to anyone in business or anyone who's, looking to start a business, is that you got to own the stage, you got to own what it is that you're doing,
right,
and you got to be likable.
Right.
Nobody's going to buy it, your product or service, without that in place.
Yeah, you don't jam it down their throat, you find out their needs, find out what they're here for. If they're not here for an X-rated show, don't give them one, because they'll never come back, and you may have ruined comedy for them, so you never know.
Wow, that's interesting. How did you learn comedy? I mean, in terms of the business of comedy, it's one thing to be naturally funny or to be able to go back and take your life circumstances and turn them into a joke, but I would imagine there's a business of comedy.
As far as how to make it in comedy, or? Well, I started off probably in 2008, and my mom was a manager of an Italian restaurant downtown, and I told her I wanted to do stand-up comedy, and she's like, okay, well, we'll put a comedy show together for you, and then you learn how to sell tickets and stuff like that. I did it. It went over great. I thought it was the best show I ever had, only because it was for my friends and my family. Because then I did a show here maybe 3 months later at an open mic, and it was packed and nobody laughed at me.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, I shouldn't do this anymore, you know what I mean? So you just kind of watch what other comics do, and as far as the business aspect, it's just every night is practice, you know what I mean? You have to go out there and you have to want it. You have to practice harder than anybody else, and you have to try and take risks, and understand that if they don't laugh tonight, find out why they're not laughing, you know what I mean? Is it the way you said it? Are you not selling it? Or is it just not, appropriate for the audience? But the business aspect of itself is just be a good person. You know, if you're a good person and other comics like you, they're going to put you on a show. You know, then you just return the favor. You know, so it's a lot of networking, which you have to do. You know, sometimes you don't want to do it, but yet you have to.
Do you cold call? I mean, how do you find gigs like that are out of town or really broaden yourself outside of Pittsburgh?
I usually get contacted. And I don't know if that's whether, you know, I get recommendations from other comics or if somebody has seen me before. Like, I'll do a show here and somebody will come up to me and say, hey, we're having a corporate Christmas party, you know, do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then it just trickles down to where, okay, somebody there liked me, and then they get me, and then they get me. But as far as the club's concerned, it's, you know, I do a lot of networking. I use a lot of social media. I put myself out there as much as I can. And but I also do quantity over quality. I mean, quality over quantity. I try and everything I put out online, I make sure it's the best that I have, as opposed to just jamming stuff down people's throats to where they're sick of me. You know, you want them wanting more.
Yeah,
So,
well, and that's a smart social media
Yeah.
strategy. So I want to talk more about your other social media strategies and how
Sure.
you're being able to, you know, expose people to your comedy online and over social media. And then where things go for you next, because it sounds like you've got a big, bright future ahead of
Yeah.
you, and I can't wait for you to tell us more about that.
okay, great.
Are you looking for a way to advertise your business, product, or service? Why not do it here on Hustle and Heart TV? We'd be happy to send you our media kit for show sponsorship and advertising. Reach out to us at info@dariuthchisholm.com or give us a call at 412-692-1600 and we'll send you a media kit with all the information.
Are you looking for a career that pays great money, working with a fun group of people? I know, sounds too good to be true, right? Hi, I'm Troy Miles of the Miles Group.
We will train you, help you get your license, even supply leads. No cold calling.
I've been here 2 years and earned 6 figures this year.
I love my job.
I love the freedom and being my own boss.
If you would like to work among friends, have a great time, and make good money, call us.
Find out more at tmilesgroup.com.
When it comes to food, family, and tradition, Atria's is your dining destination. Atria's has a passion for food, and it all starts with our culinary trained chefs. From the made-from-scratch rubs and dressings to the best in the burr crab cakes, Atria's prides itself in serving honest and real food. Come and see what makes us different at one of our 8 locations. We're now offering private dining, to-go, and full-service catering. Atria's, we're always changing courses.
Hi, my name is Marsha Ambrosius and I'm a singer, songwriter and producer, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hustle and Heart TV with Darius Chisholm.
No, seriously, so I'd love for you to entertain us with some jokes. It's probably hard to do it right off the cuff, but you know, you're talented. You can rock the stage.
I can rock
What
the
do you got for us?
It's so hard to, because it's like when people always ask you that, they're like, oh, you're a comedian, tell me a joke.
Right,
I'm like,
I'm sure that's what they say,
Yeah.
right? Tell me a joke, you're a comedian.
Right, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you're a doctor, take care of my medical bills. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should. No, I'm just talking
No,
about
let's talk about, I don't know, relationships, things like that. are really
relationships.
funny, yeah.
I don't like living with my girlfriend. When I lived with my girlfriend, for some reason, like, she moves in and all my stuff is gone. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, she puts 35 pillows on the bed. You know what I mean? And it ends up, I go from like having like this little spot on the bed to where like she kicks me off the bed, and I don't know. I can't do that one. I know it sounds weird. Like, it's so hard off the top to come up with something.
Yeah, but really, for a comedian, I mean, people probably do come up to you and they'll say, just tell me a joke, make me laugh. And
It's
you've
the
gotta-
worst thing in the world, because
Yeah.
you're just like, no, I don't want to. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, oh, well, you know what? My transmission blew. You're a mechanic here. You do that for free, and I'll tell you a free joke.
Right,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But it's too hard.
Yeah. But, you know, again, we talked earlier about you coming up with material, and
Yeah.
as you said, part of it, I bet, is just the spontaneity and then having the energy in the room and working, you know,
Yeah.
a crowd and having, really, you're spending the day thinking about performing at night.
Yeah.
And then to have someone just walk up, or in this case, me sitting here and say, tell me a joke, make me laugh, Yeah, I guess that is kind of
And it's
strange.
crazy because you would expect like me to be the guy like, hey, let's hear a joke, and it's like we're like the complete opposite because we're just talking to you guys actually in conversation. So it's like pretty much like office talk, you know, is pretty much how I do my stage stuff. So when somebody's like, tell me a joke, I'm like, I don't really have good jokes. I can tell you how bad of a dad I had, and if you want to hear that, then it gets funny, you know. But like I talk about how like my dad, when I was a kid, I didn't know that my dad had the utilities in my name, and I was getting like letters in the mail, and like with my last name being Light, I was like, Dad, who's Duquesne Light? And he's like, oh, that's your cousin. I was like, was it his birthday? Because apparently I owe him like $500, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. And like when I was a kid, do you have any kids?
I do.
Okay, how old are they?
He is 19.
He's 19. Okay, so when he was a child, what catalog did he get to pick from?
You
like
mean
for the holidays?
for holiday
or
Christmas?
Christmas, yeah.
He would look at Toys R Us, and he wanted to pick toys out of that.
See, you're a good parent, and you picked that. Do you know what catalog that I got to pick from?
No, what?
Marlboro Miles.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, I had to encourage my dad to smoke cigarettes so that I would get a compass. Like,
Oh
that
no!
Was, yeah,
You had to have him look at what he wanted,
Right.
and pick cigarettes, and yeah.
Yeah, and the problem is like these things would cost like 100,000 miles, and he could only smoke 80,000. So I had to take one for the team. You know what I mean? Which stopped my growth. Maybe that's why I got cancer. I mean, who knows?
Wow.
Yeah. So.
It just comes that easily
Yeah.
for you.
Thanks,
That's
Fred.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. What would you be doing, Matt, if you weren't doing comedy?
I would probably be under a bridge, hanging out. No, I don't know. I always wanted to be a lawyer, because I talk and I feel like I can manipulate people. Like, I know that sounds bad, but like it's kind of what I do here, you know.
No offense to any of the lawyers that are watching Hustle and Hard TV.
Yeah, you
right
guys
now.
are always honest. I promise. No, but it's true because, like, you know, I go up here and like when a show's over, everyone always asks me, "Did that really happen?" You know, so like you have to put it in their mind, like this is what happened. And I feel as a lawyer, your whole job is to sell them on, you know, my client wasn't here or he was here. You have to make it as believable as possible. So, you know, I feel like maybe that or be a sports agent. You know, but being 5'5" with asthma, I wouldn't play sports, but I'd like to represent them maybe. But,
Yeah, that's interesting. But they still have some, acquaintance or some similarity to comedy. So
Yeah.
it feels like, you know, from what you're saying, you just always knew that's what you were going to be, a stand-up comic and a comedian.
I just didn't have any other choices. Like in high school, my grades weren't that good. I didn't pay attention. I was the big mouth. I thought it was so funny and I really do regret that. But I mean, I don't have any regret. Actually, no, I don't have regrets because if I wasn't such a goofball, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be slamming my head off a desk, doing a cubicle job, and so this is my dream, you know. And I've always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. You know, I didn't get there yet, but like.
You got time, you're young.
Who knows, yeah.
Yeah. Part of what you're doing for your brand and your business also is really leveraging social media. I mean, in this day and age, and certainly for your generation, it's all about social media. How do you do that, and how do you think that helps to expose your brand?
Well, like what I do is I'll use Twitter a lot, and I'll find out, because when you're on Twitter, you can search locally what people are talking about. So like I'll search certain hashtags like comedy, Pittsburgh, or stand-up, and if they're nearby and they say something, I'll just send them a tweet and say, hey, do you want to come to a show? I'll give you free tickets. Because it's not about money for me. You know, I just try and find anyone I know that likes what I do and be like, hey, well, here's a free night out, go have fun, 2-drink minimum, but, you know, go have fun. And the whole thing is building relationships. Like, if I wanted to be a millionaire, you know, I'd be a doctor or a lawyer like that. I mean, this is just, I love entertaining people, and this is my passion. So anytime I can perform with people I've never had before, you know, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, but clearly, I mean, as you become more famous and get to travel, it does pay. I mean,
Sure.
some comedians make very good money.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns into other opportunities for them. Movies, you know, Saturday Night Live. I mean, really, so this is, as much as you're saying not so much about the money, I mean, you got to eat, you got to survive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you know, this is my business, you know, and you got to spend money to make money in any business. So right now, my investment is myself. I'm putting myself in front of an audience that, you know, sometimes they don't pay to come so that I can be like, you know, I'm good, or like, I sell merchandise. So if I do well, you know, I liked him, then you buy my shirts, then you come to another show. You know, I just want to give you that taste for free at 1st, and if you like it, you'll come back. you
Yeah,
know?
one of my previous guests on the show said something that I still remember today, and that was give something away of value,
Yeah.
and you'll always be wealthy.
It's true.
And that you'll be in that process of doing that. So you almost have to give something away of great value for people to appreciate who you are,
Yeah.
and then want to come back and do business with you.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's worked because I get a lot of repeat fans that come to the shows, which, you know, for comedy it's hard because a lot of people don't have that much material. You know, somebody like me, I have about an hour, a little bit less than an hour. So you're still seeing a little bit of the same stuff, but, you know, they're fans and they're coming. But when they come, they bring different people that haven't been there. So it's a great time. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, I can tell you what, if you have time in Pittsburgh to check out Matt Light at the Improv, he's worth coming to see, right?
Thank you.
I don't know what he said about the whole Twitter thing, but try tweeting comedy here in Pittsburgh, and he may just send you some free tickets. Right?
Yeah, if you find me at Matt Light Comedy, I'll give you free tickets, you know?
Awesome, great.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to get more information about Matt, his shows, where he's headlining at, read more about his bio at my website at Hustle and Heart TV. All you need to do is search Matt Light, and you'll get the details there. And of course, if you are listening to us or watching us on iTunes, be sure to subscribe and write a review. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love the support.
Right.
Yeah, Matt, thanks so much for being
Thank
a part
you
of the
so
show.
much. It was a blast.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Marriott City Center, where all of your meeting, events, and travel needs can be met.
I'm Brian Halupka, Director of Sales here at the Pittsburgh Marriott City Center. I'm proud to say that I work with the best sales team in the downtown Pittsburgh market. Our brilliant sales and service staff has been ranked #1 out of 358 full-service Marriott hotels. But meetings are more than just tables and chairs. We put people first so that you can bring your vision to life in ways never imagined. With Marriott's Meeting Services app, you can manage your event without ever leaving your seat. It handles the details so you can get back to what is most important, the people. Come and experience our brilliant service.
Check us out online on Facebook at Pittsburgh Marriott City Center, or call today at 412-471-4000 to make your next event brilliant.
CTC Booking Travel and Entertainment Cruise Productions, the world's leader in full-ship charter music cruises, announces 5 cruises featuring the best in jazz music entertainment. The Signature Cruise, Smooth Jazz Cruise, the Jazz Cruise, 80s Cruise, and Gospel Music Cruise. Sail for 7 days with the finest music and entertainment artists in the world. Go to jazzcruisecatalog.com and book your cruise today.